like, I don't want to discourage you with this video, but for me it was just very traumatic and I wouldn't want to go through it again. Don't watch this if you are looking for a positive story, because mine is not a positive story. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, aka Kristenite, and in today's video I am going to be sharing with you guys my labor and delivery story. And sorry if I'm looking down in the video, I'm just looking at Eden because she is in a baby carrier at the moment, and so I will just be checking on her from time to time. So you guys might have seen our vlog going with us to the hospital. Thank you so much if you watched that. Like, I didn't even know that Luther had filmed that much footage. When I got home, I saw all of the videos on the camera and I was like, oh, you were recording all this time. Like, I wasn't even aware. Like, I was focused on the baby and other things, so I wasn't even aware. I saw him with the camera, but like, I didn't realize. Then when we got home, I saw all the footage. I don't know if you know me and you've spoken to me before, you know that I was always talking about natural birth, and for me it was really something that I really wanted to do, and having a cesarean felt very much like a failure to me, to be honest. Like, I'm still trying to deal with the fact that this is what happened, and this is how my baby was born. I feel like I didn't get the chance to experience birth and natural labor, and I mean, it may sound selfish, but I do feel like my baby was quite healthy at the time that we decided to have a cesarean, and you know, we could have still waited. That is how I feel. It would have been okay if we still waited a little longer, but at that point I did make the decision to have a cesarean, and so it's just something that I'm battling with, like my decision itself and just like the circumstances around it. Obviously I would go for the decision that is going to be best for my baby. So we get to the hospital and I get dressed into my hospital thing with there's no back, like your bum is literally open. So then I had to go to the toilet before the operation, and there's like another patient there with her husband and stuff, so I have to walk like past them to get to the bathroom, and I have these yeah, they didn't yet give me underwear, so I had to walk like with, so I put my underwear on again because I was supposed to be naked under it, but then I had to go to the bathroom, so I put my underwear on again, but there's nothing there behind. I don't know, I don't understand, like, how are you supposed to live your life? Anyway, so I went to the bathroom, put those scrubs on, Luther put his scrubs on, and then I lay in the bed, and they come and they put the baby monitor on, they check the baby's heart rate, and also they asked me a whole lot of health questions and basically checked me into the hospital. And then that is the first hour and a half before. They also shaved me, and then basically I was ready to go into surgery. So they wheeled me into the waiting room area for the operating room, and over there we also asked some questions, and that's when Luther put his head covering on, right? So now he has this head covering on, and all you see is his small little face. Like, his face is actually so small without his dreadlocks, and then his beard sticking out, and I couldn't stop laughing. I burst out laughing when I saw how he looked with it, because he just looked like somebody that worked at McDonald's, man. Like, he didn't look like well, he said he looked like a doctor, but I was just like getting McDonald's employee vibes from that head covering and stuff, and he had to use two, so that was super funny. And then the staff were like, oh, get all your laughs out now, because after the operation you're not going to be able to laugh and cough and sneeze and all of that stuff. So I think it was also nerves that was causing me to laugh that much, because I was like, with everything that's happening, it all builds onto the nervous feeling, and so I was quite nervous by the time we were now in the operating room. So now we wheel into the operating room, and all this time a few people are coming to me and introducing themselves as maybe the nurse or the anesthesiologist. Like, we met the anesthetist. Okay, I'm gonna mess up this word, an anesthetist or anesthesiologist, I don't know what to say. Okay, the person that is giving me the drugs to put me under the epidural. Right, so he had come early already to explain the procedure and everything, and I had to sign something, and then he now is ready to put the epidural in me, and I had to bend forward, and then there's a nurse that's holding my hand, and then Luther's also holding my hands, and it's very tense. Can feel like the tense atmosphere in the operating room, and because if they poke anything wrong, like, they can cause like serious damage. So now he's putting this long needle down my back, and I can feel this needle. Sorry, Eden. There we go. And I can feel this needle going down my spine. Like, I could feel it. It's so uncomfortable, because it's a feeling like you've never felt before, and it's something that you know is foreign. Like, you know someone is scratching somewhere that they're not supposed to, like in your spine, literally. Anyway, so that's done. That's like the worst. I think that's the worst part that is over now. And but then someone comes to introduce themselves as assisting and puts a catheter in me, and then they drape me and everything, and now the anesthetist comes with an ice block, a block of blue ice, and puts it on my body, and he tells me I have to tell him if I can feel the coldness of the ice, like up my legs, and then on my stomach area, on my abdomen, on my chest. And then I feel it, basically I feel very cold on my chest, and everywhere as it goes lower and lower I feel it less and less, but I could still kind of feel it on my abdomen, right? But apparently that was okay, that was still fine, so we continued, right? So now as they start doing things, I thought I was gonna feel nothing, but I could feel what they were doing. Like, I couldn't feel pain, don't get me wrong, I did not feel any pain throughout the procedure, but I could just feel that they were doing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost like I had 20% of the experience of what they were doing, so the other 80% it felt like they were kind of touching me for like 20% of what I'm supposed to feel. But it was still very weird and uncomfortable. So I'm laying on the table and I'm doing like this. I'm going like this, and the anesthetist comes to ask me if I'm okay, if I'm feeling pain, and I told him no, I just feel weird, like I can feel what they're doing, and it feels uncomfortable. So he was like, okay, that's fine, like that seemed fine. So a lot of people have told me that I'm not supposed to feel anything, but to him, when I said that I just feel weird and uncomfortable, that seemed like fine to him. So because I wasn't like screaming in pain or feeling pain, it was not considered a problem. So that for me was just a horrible experience. I can't explain it. It's unlike anything you would feel, and it's just very difficult to get through. As soon as they started, I wanted them to be done. That is how I felt. And when I looked over at Luther's standing here next to me, I look over at him. As soon as my skin started opening, his eyes went big like that. And when I saw his eyes starting to get big, I looked that way. I looked away from him because I knew that if I saw him freaking out, then I was gonna freak out. So then I just looked away, but I was like squeezing his hand really tight. And then he kind of calmed down afterwards. The pediatrician was also there, and we were speaking to her, and he was like looking at what they were doing. He saw everything, and he was like, is it just me? Like, is it getting really hot in here? He was getting so hot. And then the pediatrician told him to just like go sit down on the floor so long for a bit, in case he actually fainted and fell, then he was actually already on the floor, you know. So he didn't faint, because as soon as he heard Eden's cry, he got up. And as soon as I heard her cry, everything that I felt before that didn't matter at all. It all went away. Like, I just felt such joy, and I just broke down and crying. Like, even if I think about it now, it's like unlike any other feeling I've ever had, and I'm still getting emotional thinking about it. But yeah, it was just so beautiful. Your child's cry is like the most beautiful thing you've ever heard once you hear it for the first time. And then that's when I knew that everything was worth it. And then after that, it was so difficult to get through them like stitching me up, because after that they show me the baby, they take the baby away to do some tests and whatever. I think Luther cut the umbilical cord at that point, and then they take her away to do the APGAR tests or whatever they do. And then they do bring the baby back to me, and then they put her on my chest skin to skin for a few moments. And that was the best moment ever, when I held her in my arms, and I felt so fulfilled in that moment. And then they had to take her away again, and then they put her in her crib thing, like an incubator thing. And then she goes with her dad to the nursery, right? And then I'm still in the operating room, and now this part was the worst part, because now I'm like alone. Luther's gone, just with the staff now, and they are sewing me up, and it feels like it's taking so long, because I just want to go and I want to be with my baby. Like, I just met my baby, and now she's gone, and now like what do? I sit here and I have to go through this, and I can still feel what they're doing. It's weird, because I can feel like how they're in this one layer, and then it's closing, and then they're in another layer. Like, I could feel the build up, and then I could feel when they were on the final leg, and when they were finishing with stitches with me. And then like I still had to go to this other waiting room area afterwards to check my vitals and stuff, and I'm very groggy, and immediately after the surgery I feel super tired. Like, it's like all I did was lay there, but I was exhausted afterwards. And they check all of these things on me, and I'm still in this waiting room area for a few minutes until I get to go back to the ward. So then I go back to the ward, and then it's a few minutes, and then they bring her to, I don't know how long it was actually. I don't know if I fell asleep. I think I didn't. So this time I'm very confused, and like I'm not super aware at this time. But they did bring her to breastfeed me. I think that is actually on the video. It's the part where Luther asked me, "Kristen, are you okay?" I'm very much in pain at that point, but I'm also very happy and ecstatic to have met Eden and to have her in my arms and to breastfeed her. It was such a beautiful experience, but at the same time I was in so much pain and I was so tired. That's why I was not very responsive. This has been the most beautiful but most difficult experience, or most difficult thing I've had to do in my life. Taking care of another life is really a big responsibility, and it's really scary. It's really challenging, but it's also, there are moments where I look at her and I'm like, wow, it's just amazing, the fact that she was in my belly and that she grew from a tiny little seed to what she is now, and she's moving and breathing and feeding and sleeping, and it's just such a miracle. Like, it's such a miracle. And yeah, she's just so beautiful and so perfect, and I couldn't have asked for anything more special than my Edie bug. So yeah, so if you enjoy this video, do give it a thumbs up, do leave a comment. If you have some tips that can help me as a new mom. Like, I'm not doing videos to teach anyone anything in this area because I am not an expert in this area. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.